This is going to be a full recap of CONCACAF qualifiers match day 4. I already did one for match day 3. You can check that one out if you want to. It's a little outdated now, but if you would like to know my thoughts after the third round of games, you can find that on the channel. And I want to ask you guys now to drop your biggest takeaway from match day 4 in the comments, because I think there's a lot. I'm going to talk about every team. I'm going to talk about every game. I'm going to talk about every group. And I think this is going to be a great time because, well, I had a great time watching most of these games. I felt like there was a lot of drama. There was a lot of excitement. It's only going to get better or worse depending on how you want to look at it. Before we get into it, though, if you guys like videos about CONCACAF and you don't want to miss my final preview and predictions video for the last window of this round, plus the match day 5 and the match day 6 and all those other takeaway videos, winners and losers, all that good stuff here on the channel, make sure you are subscribed. And again, biggest takeaway down below in the comments. We're actually going to go in an unconventional order here. We're going to start with Group C because match day 4 happened first for Group C. So that's how we're going to do things in this video too. I don't make the rules. CONCACAF does. And that's kind of scary. Currently, Honduras in first place on 8 points. Would you look at that? Costa Rica in second on 6 points. Haiti in third now with 5 points. In Nicaragua, poor Nicaragua down there at the bottom with 1 point, 10 goals conceded. I'm going to start with Honduras 3, Haiti 0. And y'all let me know down below in the comments, is this the surprise of the window? Not in the sense that Honduras won, because regardless of what Haitians were trying to tell me in the comments about how this was a layup game and they were taking 6 points this window and yada yada, Honduras winning was always a possibility, and it was always a strong possibility. It's a surprise in the sense that Honduras scored 3 goals in the same game, y'all. This almost never happens. This team is offensively largely dead. I mean, it's not awful. It's not the worst attack in CONCACAF, but they have no 9, and I'll get to that in a moment. The last time that Honduras scored 3 goals in a game was when they beat Bermuda 5-3 in a Gold Cup qualifier. And just to rub a little salt in the wound here are all the other teams that Honduras have scored 3 goals against this decade. Bermuda, French Guiana, Trinidad and Tobago, Cuba, Grenada, and now we can add Haiti to the list, which now that I've gone over this, I actually think that Honduras might be the true Pirates of the Caribbean because they have been pillaging all of these islands for 3 pieces. Honduras, that ain't great. For Honduras, I've said it before, I'll say it again, it's the most random team in CONCACAF. These guys make absolutely no sense. They are completely unpredictable, and that's what makes them scary at all times. If you guys bet on footy matches, I would never, ever touch an Honduras game because you really do not know what to happen. You might as well just burn your money or donate it to the nearest charity. How they followed up that Costa Rica stinker with this masterclass against Haiti, I will never know. I'll tell you what helped, though, was the early goal from Rigoberto Rivas in this game to open it up. And once Honduras get that first goal, when they can really defend, they do become scary. And who was responsible for that pass over top, that beautiful long ball over top? Gervin Arriaga, one of the most underrated midfielders in the entire region, the CONCACAF Slim Reaper. He was a beast in this game, probably should have had multiple assists. Man of the match for me by far. For Honduras now, they're on top of the group with 8 points. They're the only team to not concede. This is insane, man. Who would have bet Honduras had the best defense freaking 4 games into qualifying? Would anyone have said that? I feel like the favorites would have been Suriname and maybe Costa Rica. Maybe the old Costa Rica. I don't know. Point is, nobody would have really picked Honduras. They also have a +5 GD, which would be the best were Jamaica to not have played Bermuda twice and beaten them 8-0 on aggregate. If you remove that, Honduras have the best GD of any team, and they still have 1 game left against Nicaragua. It's insane. This team is unbelievable. If they had a 9, they would be terrifying, but they don't. And so that's why they're going to still be a little bit beatable throughout the rest of the games. Next up, Nicaragua away and Costa Rica away. Are they favorites to win the group now, Honduras? Let me know down below in the comments. For Haiti, this team's defense continues to be a problem. And I think when you have a back line that's too high, the spacing between the midfield and the back line is too big, and your fullbacks can't defend, you're going to get cut up. I mean, this is the second time in 4 games Haiti's eaten 3 goals. They ate 5 goals right before the Gold Cup. They should have eaten more goals against the United States in the group stage game. They got grouped at the Gold Cup, partially because they couldn't defend, partially because Saudi Arabia had 1 attack, 1 goal. This is a problem now. I shouldn't say problem now. It's always been a problem. And Placide, the goalkeeper, he actually kept this from being an even more embarrassing route than it was. And the midfield kind of got bullied by Honduras all game. I mean, Haitians were telling me Bellegarde, one of the top midfielders in CONCACAF, he didn't look like it. Got thrown around like a rag doll up and down the pitch, directly responsible for one goal, played a part in the second goal. Disaster class from the Haitian new star boy. Haiti's still alive here, but this was a humbling. And they have enough time to learn from it, but they have to be damn near perfect now to win the group. And if they don't learn, then they're not going to win the group, and they might even finish third. And it would be incredibly ironic after the fan base was chirping, talking mad you-know-what, about how they're going to run away with this group. Costa Rica finished, Honduras suck, all this smack talk, just to get ran over like that against Honduras. I think we really need to calm down a little bit with the expectations of this team. It's like some of y'all thought adding a Premier League player to the roster was suddenly going to make y'all unbeatable, which is shocking to me, because have you guys heard of another island nation called Jamaica? Have you guys heard of that? Jamaica? It's also in CONCACAF. It's actually not that far away from Haiti. I would think most of you guys are familiar. They've been doing this for years. And how has that worked out for Jamaica so far? How many World Cups have they made so far since they just started spamming dual nats from abroad? Oh, wait, that's right. They really haven't done anything. So I don't know why y'all thought this was going to be any different. Like, did y'all really think this was going to be easy? No, this is CONCACAF. This is never easy, especially when you can't even play games at home. Time to get smarter. Time to lock in. Next up, Costa Rica in neutral territory. For Haiti, your destiny is still in your hands, but you have to take points or it's done. Or direct qualification is certainly done. Next game, Costa Rica 4, Nicaragua 1. This was a must-win for Los Ticos, and they did. And honestly, it probably felt great to score 4 goals. I feel like they could have gotten more. I'm going to start with Nicaragua. This team is terrible, and I mean that with all due love and respect. Outside of Junior Arteaga, I'm not sure anyone on this team has a first touch, and I'm not being hyperbolic. Watch these guys try to play. Watch these guys try to play out from the back. The midfield cannot turn. Nobody can bring down a pass. There's no dynamism whatsoever in this team. Poor offense, 0 difference makers, bad fundamentals, and the worst goalkeeper in the group. What is the result? You're probably not going to qualify. You're probably not going to pick up any more points. You've conceded 10 goals through 4 games. That is what that equation adds up to. Look, maybe these guys can get a point in the remaining games, but I don't have any faith. For Costa Rica, once again, offensively, they looked very strong at home. I talked about how in the Haitian draw that they could have had 7 goals in the first half against Haiti. They ran them over. It was dominant, and then they collapsed. I think in this game against Nicaragua, it was a similar circumstance where you could say probably 5 goals in this game was fair. That would have been a fair tally for Costa Rica. 10 shots on target, 6 big chances created in this game. That might be the record. I'm going to have to check how many big chances created Jamaica had against Bermuda, but that might be one of the top games of qualifying so far. So what kind of changed for Costa Rica this window? Because it was a very good window for them. Basically neutralizing Honduras, outplaying Honduras away from home, and then slapping Nicaragua at home. I think one thing you have to talk about is the reintroduction of Kendall Watson to this team, which is insane because he's 37 years old. The guy hasn't played since the 2023 Gold Cup. He was an afterthought. I remember I was doing the Honduras live stream. Again, RIP to each and every one of you who was on that stream with me. I was like, is that Kendall Watson? I mean, the guy's about to be a grandfather. He's back in the 11. Not only is he man of the match against Honduras, he has another good performance against Nicaragua and gets an assist. I mean, it is just everybody needs to smash the like button right now for this Los Ticos golden generation. They still got Keylor Navas. Watson's back, balling out, and they still got Francisco Calvo. I mean, that World Cup run was 11 years ago. And these guys are still here, and they're still important. And these are not handout caps. This is not Piojo being, corrupted by Costa Rican media. And that's why Watson's back in the team. No, he's back in the team because he's a dog. He's back in the team because he's still got it like that. So I just got to say big ups to Watson, man. I'm sure Joe Campbell's next up. We're going to see him back in the team. It's insane. And Manfred Ugalde, who is turning into quite the creative 9. He's turning into quite the Harry Kane-esque striker for Los Ticos. I don't remember his full assist tally in the last 15 games, but he's starting to rack them up. And he's got such a good partnership with Alonso Martinez. that these guys, man, that 1-2 punch that they have, plus the wingers with guys like Alcocer, this is why Costa Rica have been chefing at home going forward. They kind of fixed the defense. I actually think reintroducing Kendall Watson will make a big difference. These guys are going to be terrifying in the last window. Maybe Costa Rica are back. Let's move on to Group A next. Suriname in first place on 6. Panama right behind them on 6 points as well. Guatemala have jumped up to third place on 5 points. And El Salvador are now in last on just 3 points. Group A is fantastic. I love everything. Group A for awesome. It's amazing. We still have not seen a single shootout yet in this group. We barely see any goals at all. And comment down below, are we ever going to get that shootout? Because I'm looking at the games left that could result in a shootout. I don't think Panama El Salvador is ever going to be a shootout. I don't think Suriname against anybody is ever going to be a shootout, which kind of means the last option for us getting a 3-2 banger is probably Panama away in Guatemala City. And based on how the Guatemalans have been playing, especially this last window, don't want to get ahead of myself, I seriously doubt that's going to happen. But I am going to start with Panama 1, Suriname 1. Points are shared in this game in Panama City. This is now 0 wins at home for Panama. I would say that it's still advantage Suriname right now because they are keeping the pressure on Panama. It's not the fact that they didn't lose away in Panama City. It's the fact that Panama are still on fraud watch. It's the fact that everyone's still laughing at them and saying, this is what happens when the ref doesn't help Panama, which is just ridiculous. I'll get into that in a second. For Suriname, I will start positive here because this is a good point. This is a really, really good point. Vicen, the goalkeeper, animal, bro. Absolute dog. And I think when you have a strong goalkeeper plus a team that is this defensively sound in this group where you don't really have a bunch of goal scorers in any of the other teams, this is why Suriname have a really good chance to win because nobody can capitalize on their mistakes, and they're a great counterattacking side as well. So they have become they've become a team with a strong identity who doesn't concede a lot with a good goalkeeper. I mean, is Vicen or Mosquera the best keeper in this group? I would probably go with Vicen. I think Mosquera's good. I rate him. But they have one of the best goalkeepers in CONCACAF, period. As an underdog team, as a team that can park the bus if they want to, it's a great place to be for Suriname. What else do I want to say? Cherry, 37-year-old, cooked in this game, man. Absolutely cooked. Great pass to Margaret for the goal. Honestly, should have had another one, but Mosquera had a great save on him in the second half. And then Margaret himself, y'all know I love him. Y'all know I've been saying he's a dog. If he just improves his decision-making, he will be one of the better wingers in CONCACAF very, very soon, if he isn't already. Now, the bad news for Suriname is I feel like when they play against a team with even moderate finishing ability, I think they're going to lose a lot of games. They are really taking advantage of the most clinical forward in this group, probably being Oscar Santis from Guatemala. And I just worry, should they qualify to the World Cup, I cannot see them getting any results against any other team that has a goal scorer on the roster. And also, Geraldo Becker, I mean, Panama, if you want to talk about them dropping this game at home, the best chance fell to Geraldo Becker, who shot it. It was a great point-blank save from Mosquera. Becker had another opportunity in the Guatemala game as well to win it. Not a great window for the Surinamese talisman, but it's okay. I'm sure he'll be back. Panama next up. I'll say it for the 500th time on this channel. They need a goal scorer. 3 goals scored through 4 games. It sounds like a team that just has, 25% possession and overall suck. That is not the case. In this game, the stats are unbelievable for Panama. Y'all ready for this? Buckle up. 28 shots. 8 of those on target. 7 big chances created. 6 big chances missed. Is there a stat that embodies Panama more than that? 7 big chances created. 6 big chances missed. The big chance that was converted came off of Luis Diaz's schlong. Accidentally, the man didn't even mean to direct the ball into the goal. He scored with his pelvis on accident. Does anything describe Panama more than that? They are Stormtrooper FC. I'm serious. Replace the Panama crest with either the logo of the Empire or just a Stormtrooper helmet. Because I've seen enough. And I'm getting really sick of people saying that this team sucks and they're frauds. Like, do you watch them play? They play the best football of any team in this round of qualifying. Do you guys realize that? They're arguably the most fun team to watch in CONCACAF. It's between them and Canada. That's it. If we're talking about entertainment value, it is Panama. Yet everybody is just preying on their downfall, like praying that the most attractive football in this round fails. I don't understand that. You would rather see fossil footy at the World Cup? And Thomas Christensen deserves credit for getting Panama to play like this. And yet, whenever they don't score, whenever Thomas Christensen's style of football, whenever his game plan generates 30 shots and 10 on target, but Panama don't score, they look at Christensen, y'all in the comments of my video saying, you said Christensen was good. I thought Christensen was supposed to be a good coach. How come they're not winning these games? 30 shots, 10 on target. What do you want him to do? You want him to go out there and start shooting? Be realistic, y'all. This is crazy. Last thing, because everyone says, Panama, the ladrones of CONCACAF, they buy everything. They had a penalty waived off. They had a potential foul in the box this game that did not go to VAR. And there was an accidental handball from a Surinamese player in the box, which was not given as a penalty. And I'm not saying any of those should have been a penalty. None of those should have been a penalty. None of them. Panama did not deserve a penalty in this game. My point is, though, if these guys are the ladrones of CONCACAF, surely one of those calls would have gone their way. Please stop with this narrative. It's getting really annoying. This window was better for Panama than the last one, but they really needed 6 points, which means Guatemala away next up has got to be a dub, and I cannot wait for that. And speaking of Guatemala, they beat El Salvador 1-0, a result that puts El Salvador on the brink of elimination, and one that I have to admit, I didn't think Guatemala could do it. So kudos to any Guatemalans watching. You guys know that I picked El Salvador in this game because I felt like El Salvador was the perfect counter to Guatemala. Just as nasty, just as mean, just as dirty, enough to frustrate Guatemala, a Guatemala team under the same amount of pressure as Panama. And honestly, I don't feel bad about getting this wrong because this was a horrendous spectacle. The two Guatemala-El Salvador games have been the worst games of qualifying. 3 shots on target combined between the two sides, 0.34 XG combined. That is trash. That is diabolical. Smash the like button for Guatemala. Really, the difference was Oscar Santis showing up with a banger. And you know what? That's why I've been saying that he's a difference maker. That's why Oscar Santis is a difference maker for Guatemala. He is a player who can pull out a goal like this. It's a great shot. I mean, again, I just read the XG was probably 0.1 on it. It was a screamer. Might have taken a little bit of a deflection, but the point is that's what it was going to take for Guatemala to win this game. Their star boy stepped up. He delivered. They were always defensively strong enough to stop El Salvador from scoring. El Salvador don't really have a great attack. And here we are with the 1-0 scoreline. And I got to say, the defense for Guatemala has locked in. Like, they are not allowing anything. I think in the Suriname game, they also allowed like 0.4 XG. Now it was like 0.1 against El Salvador here today. 0.5 XG in a window. I mean, these guys are dogs, man. Samashoa Morales is a freaking beast. Pinto, Herrera. It's a very, very good back line. And this group of players, the chem is, 100 out of 100. They're going to be scary against Panama next window, and they're absolutely going to be feeling like they can win that game, and they can win that game. For El Salvador, I think it's basically done. I think the fact that it's not is a testament to them doing well, certainly doing better than everybody expected. In this round, they're just not good. They're just not a talented football team. And again, I'm not trying to be mean, but they do have some talent. They are more talented than Nicaragua, for sure. They're not the least talented team here, but they don't have those difference makers like Guatemala does, like Panama does, like Suriname has now. They don't. And this was always going to be a big ask. It might have been an ask that was too big. Lastly, let's end on Group B here. Jamaica back in first place on 9 points. Curacao behind them on 8. Trinidad and Tobago in third place on 5 points. And poor Bermuda, 0 points, 14 goals conceded. My word. Let's start with Trinidad 1, Curacao 1. I didn't get to watch the entire game, but I did watch quite a good portion of it. I felt like it was a pretty weird spectacle. I think Curacao started well, got the goal, then backed off way too much. And I think for the rest of the match, I would say Trinidad was the better side. And it kind of felt like I was watching the exact same game that happened in Trinidad at home, where Trinidad is like spamming shots. None of them are really super great chances, and Curacao have the occasional counterattack that might result in something. But you have to walk away from both games, I feel like, saying that if there was one team that deserved to get a win in these two fixtures, I think it is Trinidad. And I don't think Curaçaoans will be mad at me for saying that. I do think Curacao was a little bit disappointing in this game, and I do think they were fortunate to only score once. I mean, if you want a stat to support that, Eli Room, their goalkeeper, has made 11 saves in the 2 games against Trinidad. It's almost 6 saves a game. You're not making 6 saves a game if the defense is locking up. You're not making 6 saves a game if the midfield's controlling the ball. I mean, they are getting, I'm not going to say save, but they are benefiting from a strong goalkeeper performance. Much like Suriname benefits from Bison. Much like Panama has benefited from big saves from Mosquera. Not the volume of saves like this, but big games in the past. So I think the goalkeeper was doing work. I don't think the chance creation was very good. I think the CBs were okay, but they're conceding a lot of chances. For Trinidad, I think I said this after match day 3, I'll say it again, they might be the best team in CONCACAF at generating low quality looks, but the volume is so high that it doesn't matter. In the entire round of qualifying so far, Trinidadans, sit down, this is going to be a little bit painful. 64 shots total for Trinidad, 4 goals, which translates to a 6% shot conversion rate, which is truly awful. I feel like Trinidad and Panama are just battling each other for the worst finishing side in CONCACAF. I have written down basically Panama, with a worse midfield. That is essentially Trinidad and Tobago. They have Jamaica up next, and the hope for Trinidad is the same hope for Panama. There's a lot of similarities. The difference is, though, that one team has tons of pressure. The other, they don't. I'm sorry, Trinidadans. No one is expecting you to do anything. You are moving scot-free. It's on the house. No one cares if you don't qualify. No one is expecting you to qualify with Jamaica and Curacao. Everyone is expecting Panama to win the group. So different circumstances. What they will be hoping for is that the numbers eventually fall in their favor. You know, they get a lucky roll of the dice. Or maybe not even lucky, a deserved roll of the dice, you could say. If they pepper Jamaica for another 15 shots, they will be praying that they have a Curacao moment, get a bit lucky, and score a couple goals. Maybe Sealy pitches in for a goal. Levi Garcia still hasn't scored in this round. I think he's been okay, but the goals have mainly been coming from the wingers. Their MLS duo, Sealy or Spicer, I think is the guy's name, who scored last night. Much like I think the draw was better for Suriname, I think the draw here is better for Curacao because Curacao have already gotten their big win this window. Trinidad have not gotten the big win yet. Trinidad's big win, the potential for that, is Jamaica in the next game. Their destiny is not in their hands because if they draw that game, then I think it's over, and it's going to be between Jamaica and Curacao for that direct qualification. Yes, maybe Trinidad could then push for second, but direct qualification, I believe, would be over. And I think it's going to be a really good game because I'm wondering how conservative Jamaica are going to show up in that next match. And lastly, we'll go to Jamaica 4, Bermuda 0. Jamaica have defeated Bermuda 8-0 on aggregate. There's really nothing to discuss here. There's nothing to talk about. I guess the one talking point I can think of here is that Jamaica have gotten their easy games out of the way, and their final window is going to be their hardest window with a game at home against Curacao and a game away at Trinidad. So I do think it might have favored them a little bit that they were able to get the easy games first because technically now they're the team that can sit back more, and Curacao is going to have to be the team that really forces the issue. Same with Trinidad. But I don't think you can really pat Jamaica on the back too much for beating Bermuda 8-0. I mean, they're supposed to beat Bermuda 8-0, dude. Look at the teams, look at the roster, look at the market values, look at the expectations, look at the manager, look at literally everything. Population size, look at everything. Jamaica's supposed to do this. We are going to learn everything about McLaren & Co. next window. And for Bermuda, 14 goals conceded through 4 games. I guess a challenge now is to concede less than 18. If they can end next window on 4 more goals conceded across the 2 games, hey, that's a dub for Bermuda. I am a little surprised that they haven't gotten a point yet in this group. Maybe they do upset somebody. Maybe they piss someone off and poop on someone's World Cup qualifying hopes next window. I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see. Shout out to Group C for giving us all the goals in match day 4. What did we have? 8 total from their 2 games. We did get a couple in Group B, but again, that's because Jamaica are pillaging, smaller territories of the Caribbean, and I'm not really going to give too much clout for that. And then we have Group A, where every single game is a 0-0 or a 1-0 or a 1-1. I mean, are Suriname the only team to score 2 goals in a game? I believe they are. That is diabolical. I freaking love it, though. Do we get a shootout in Group A before qualifying ends? Let me know in the comments. Guys, I'm going to end it there. If you enjoyed, smash the like button again. Let me know your biggest takeaway down below in the comments. I will be back for a Match Day 5 and 6 preview on the channel. More watch-alongs for the next window. Hit subscribe for all that. I appreciate you guys for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next one.